Hey everybody, this is going to be a long couple of days filming, so bear with me. Hi everybody, this is Michael Sparks. Welcome to episode 3 of the Sparklepony Roundup. I know there was a little bit of a gap between episodes 2 and now, 2-week gap, which is kind of bad for a show that's beginning. But I was going out of town and I had to make all the arrangements, and it's a bit of a headache. So I'm going to put out 2 episodes this week to make up for it. There will be another one tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm using a new audio setup, so let me know how that's working out. There used to be this big microphone behind me that I wasn't using. I'm using it now. We'll see if it picks up better. So far, I think it is, so I think I've said "so" too many times this episode already. I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, so Legendaries have been a really weird thing in Pandaria, and they've especially been a weird thing pretty much since the system began. Now, in the beginning we had the weapons, and they were always amazing, but they took you a while to build. That's why they were legendary. And once you got them, you were awesome. You were unstoppable. This was the best thing you could have. And in Pandaria, it's almost not like that. I mean, before I got my Shaw-touched gem in the first patch, I was still pretty much out DPSing most people. The gem was nice, but really it was just a stat boost, and overall it didn't really have the same feel that, like, a Shadowmourne or a Dragon Wrath did. And then on top of that, they were so accessible that it didn't feel the same. I know people can make an argument that in Dragon Soul and in Firelands, Dragon Wrath and the Fangs of the Fathers were similarly accessible, but it wasn't just something you could do in LFR. It wasn't something that you could just casually get. You still had to be a dedicated raider in order to get that item. And that's kind of the issue. Last week on Legendary, they talked about Legendaries and the future of the item class, because Ghostcrawler put out some interesting tweets saying that in the future they're probably going to make them harder to get again. Now, he didn't specify whether or not that means they're going to be weapons again, or whether they're going to be something else altogether, kind of the way they were this tier, this expansion rather. But nonetheless, it seems like they've kind of come to the consensus that what they've done here in Pandaria was not really what they're aiming for with a legendary item. Still waiting to see how the legendary cloaks play out. I don't think they're going to be that much different, quite honestly. They kind of look like Dragon Soul trinkets for your back, so we'll see. Back onto the topic at hand, I kind of went off on a little sidetrack there. On Legendary, they were talking about these tweets from Ghostcrawler and the fact that it looks like they're kind of going to go back to the old model in some form. And the real debate there was, is that really the best thing? Because Legendaries in the past, while yes, they were rewarding to get, they were always really cool and rewarding to get. I mained a rogue in Dragon Soul. I had a great time getting my Fangs of the Father, and I felt awesome once I got them. But it really wasn't that fair to the other melee classes, because rogues were amazing. Were the other classes? Not so much. If you had a rogue in your group and they even had the lead up fangs to the Fangs of the Father, they were your top DPS. No one else stood a chance of getting close to them. And that's just the way it was. It was game breaking. And they've always been game-breaking. So, in the interest of class balance, which clearly they've been looking into a lot this expansion, I think the classes have been more balanced this expansion than they've been in a long time, if you disregard the monk in the first tier, which, new class is always going to be best class. in its first tier of raids. So, they're trying to make everything more accessible. They're trying to make everything more balanced. But can they do that and still make an item legendary? And that was the debate that was going on. Now, Mike Shaffnet from Wowhead suggested that they just start making items, legendary items. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's pretty late here. Early for me, I work graveyard. Tangent, sorry. Well, Mike Shaffnet suggested that they start making the legendaries cosmetic. It's something that you work for and you get, and you can show it off with prestige, but it doesn't break the game. And a lot of people seem to kind of like that idea. Personally, I'm one of them, because once again, having mained a rogue in Dragon Soul, there was a lot of pressure to finish that legendary because of the DPS it put out. And that's just not the kind of thing that I would wish on somebody as a guildmaster. I mean, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress. And when you're already competitively raiding, I mean, that's just an extra impetus that I don't think people need. On top of that, once again, looking at the balance issues, how fair is it for one class to just be amazing and every other class to feel like crap pretty much for the whole tier? Now, there's no fun in that. So Lore was in the chat room as well, the community manager, and he kind of always expressed the same sentiments when he was over at Game Breaker and Tank Spot. I almost said Game Spot. Once again, it's late. And I'm really kind of hoping that with people feeling like-minded there over at Blizzard, they'll do something like that. Because, I don't know, personally, I just don't feel that it's needed to have these amazing game-breaking things. I'm all for prestige. I'm all for hard work. Things like the Nether Drake mount back in Burning Crusade, or, even like the Frostbrood Drakes in Wrath of the Lich King. Those special look at me, I've done something amazing items are always something that we want in an MMO. And something that's wearable even when you're in an area that you can't mount is definitely nice. But the real question is, does it need to be functional? And I really don't think it does. And yes, it might demotivate some players from getting it, but in all honesty, isn't that part of the point of an item being legendary? Not everybody has it, not everybody's going to do the work to get it, not everybody is going to be out there seeking it. I mean, these items are supposed to be, artifacts of legend. How is it an artifact of legend if every person that you see in Orgrimmar has the item? So that's pretty much where I'm sitting on this. Now, this is a short episode. I apologize, but once again, there's going to be another one tomorrow. If you'd like to give me your opinion on the legendary situation, or if you have a question for tomorrow or next week, please hit me up at either twitter.com/ponyzord or ponyzord.tumblr.com. I do respond to the YouTube comments. I haven't been getting any, but it's a new show. I understand that. And tune in tomorrow. See you then.